Okay,
When you are.
call the meeting to order. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, be with us this evening as we do the business for the city and the community of Goddard. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
My clip is not working, Patrick. Are we frozen? One moment. Perfect. This is item C, approval of agenda. So this is the approved regular agenda for July 11th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Item D, citizens' comments. At this point, we allow citizens to comment on anything they feel required to comment on, and each citizen is allowed 3 minutes, and each guest is welcome to comment, but they must state their first, last name, and their address. So, Mr. Chair, this time, if you want, you can open citizens' comments.
This time, we'd like to open citizens' comments.
Seeing none.
Well, at this point, we'll close citizens' comments.
Very good. Item E, approval of the minutes. So this is to approve the Planning Commission regular meeting minutes from June 13, 2022. So just as a reminder, we had a rezoning request for the Baldwin land, R1 to R2, and a rezoning request for a city-owned land from a C2 to an R4.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 13th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Item F, Board of Zoning Appeals. This is item F.1, the special use for the Bow Wow Camp, case number SUP-22-1. So, quick background, Phil Meyer Boffman has submitted a special use application on behalf of the developer to build a Bow Wow Camp franchise for dog care and boarding. The proposed development is to the west of Sonic along the North Frontage Road in the C2 zoning district. This use, though reasonable in its zoning district, did not have a clear allowable use, and this triggered a review by the Planning Commission, followed by the City Council to determine if such a use to be considered acceptable. Special uses are treated like rezoning applications, though they do not have to follow all the same guidelines. Public notice was given to property owners within 200 feet, and it was published in the city newspaper. No feedback was given except from the fire department, who wanted to make sure that they still had access to the easement on the south side of the lot. So analysis, special uses are found in Article 13 Amendment, Section 101. As written out here, this is a brief snippet from that article. So all special uses in summary are considered first by the Planning Commission, finalized by City Council. This land use is for dog care and boarding. The proposed use is approximately 8,000 square feet. The proposed lot is Lot 1 Prairie Mills Edition, which is owned by Prairie State Bank. The proposed property is located to next to Sonic on the east side, Orchland on the west, Fire Station is to the north, and US 54 is to the south. So these are some of the slides that are presented by the developer. The whole packet is included in your agenda packet. I do believe Michael Schrader, is it correct, Schrader? Schroeder, I'm wrong again, sorry. But at this point, Michael, if you would like, you can come up and speak on your project. Any comments or anything that the Planning Commission might have, but feel free to step up. Or
I think he's hoping to have questions.
Oh, I see. Very good.
Are you done?
At this point, we're just going to run through these PowerPoints, kind of showing some of the amenities that they have, but I was going to give you an opportunity. I know it was a long presentation you gave me, so I figured you probably wanted to engage with Planning Commission, but if not, we can wait until after these PowerPoint slides, and then if they have any questions, they can ask you directly, or Phil on your behalf can speak for you. Either one. Okay.
We're going to go with questions.
Questions, okay. Door number 2. So basically this is a franchise, and so like I said, the full presentation that was provided is in your agenda packet. It's North America's largest pet care franchise. It's got premier indoor boarding accommodations, as you can see from the PowerPoint slide and the agenda packet. It's got an indoor and outdoor play area. It's sold over 200 franchises in 41 states, plus one in Canada, or over 41% being women-owned. And they have a premier focus on their pets. So the pet industry, kind of you see right here in summary, has been growing tremendously. Obviously, as the population grows and more people acquire pets, there is more and more of a need for boarding and kennels, and they are hoping to fill that need. So a lot of these general concerns that you would see, waste, smell, cleanup, safety, all those things are addressed in the PowerPoint presentation, but also in the agenda packet. They are certified counselors in training, and they use biodegradable cleaners and disinfectants. Traffic or parking concerns. So this land use, like any other commercial land use, has a certain parking requirement. So most of that will be handled during the site plan requirements for all commercial projects. But they would have the required off-street parking per any other standard commercial project. So they mentioned that they do have a light foaming device, what they use for drainage, that it's environmentally friendly, it does not require rinsing. So happy, healthy pets, happy, healthy people is their vision statement, and then their mission statement is Camp Bow Wow's premier provider of innovative, healthy, and happy pet care worldwide while lending a paw to animals in need. Public notice was given incurring a small cost. Legally is approved as the form. It is recommended the Planning Commission approve the special use application SUP-22-1. But like I said, this time the developer is here, as well as Phil Meyer Boffman. If you guys have any questions about it, this is predominantly to focus on the land use aspect of it. Of course, you'll be seeing, if this is approved, it'll have to go before the city council, and if they approve it, then you'll be seeing a site plan in the future, since it is a commercial project and we require all commercial projects to have site plans.
The question from the fire department was good. Everything was.
Yeah, I should put a map on here and I didn't. So, but basically, the fire department's lot is actually wider than you would think. You have Sonic directly to the south of them, and then this lot as well is directly to the south. So the fire department's lot spans the width of both lots combined. They have an easement on the south side of the fire department lot, and they just wanted to make sure that this development was not encroach on that easement. They had a protective easement there for traffic in case they needed to get, I'm guessing, on the south side of the lot or go into any of the residential developments that are happening for quick access. But they're not encroaching. This development's not encroaching on that easement. They're not going to impede it or block it or anything. They're going to stay on their lot. So.
What would, I do have a question for the.
Yes.
What would be the expected, how many animals? would you expect?
8,000 square foot, you're looking at somewhere around 75 to 80 probably. That'd be full capacity.
Full capacity.
You know, daycare, roughly 30 to 40, depending on the day. So it just gonna depend day to day.
You might go over the boarding and the daycare.
Yeah, so we'll do boarding, daycare. Boarding, is overnight stay. They get daycare with the boarding.
Okay.
Trying to think here. Question with that, full capacity, we look at probably 2 to 3 years before we're ever at full capacity. Just depends on the location and the demand.
Right.
So.
That's great. No questions. That's great.
Pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the special use application for case number SUP 22-20-1.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you for your time. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the evening, or if not, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Item G, old business, there is none. Item H, new business. This is item H1. So Shane and Christy Reeder have submitted a site plan for the proposed project of a coffee shop called the Rusted Bean. Pro site is to the east of the credit union and to the west of the Subway restaurant along the South Frontage Road. The project is for one coffee kiosk that has a drive-around queue for cars to order coffee and exit the property onto the frontage road. Drainage for the property is to the north onto the frontage road. There will be curb and gutter on the south side of the drive to capture water to channel it north. The building is around 510 plus or minus square feet, comprising about 3% of the lot coverage. Property is already platted, so no additional platting will be necessary. The lot is around 0.4 plus minus acres. Site plan packet is included in Exhibit H.1b. Building footprint 510, lot coverage 3, lot square footage is about 17,000. Proposed use coffee shop, parking proposed 6 lots total, 1 assisted parking spot. Screening required on the south lot line abutting residential. So there is a mobile park directly to the south. As you've probably seen, the credit union has a fence on the south side, and Subway has a fence on the south side. So they would also be required to screen on the south side because it's a commercial lot abutting a residential lot. So they would be required to screen on the south side. So these are back-to-backs. These are contour lines. And this is the credit union over here, Subway. This is the mobile lot. And as you can see, a fence here and a fence here. South frontage road. We have water over here on the north side. There's a sewer line over here. They're probably going to have to bring it this way. Actually, they're probably, if I remember correctly, going to bring it from the east side coming over because it's easier to trench here. You don't want to trench the concrete. General site plan grading, parking. So as you can see, it's pretty much one entry here, and you can see the diagonal lots here with the ADA on that side. So you come in, queue up, and then drive on through. Landscaping, and then the parking plan. Theoretical queue here. Some elevations. This would be the one facing the frontage road, so if you were looking to the south from the frontage road, you would see the sideway. Financially, none. Legally, it's approved as a form. It is recommended the Planning Commission approve the site plan for the Rusted Bean Coffee Shop. We do have Christy Reeder here and her husband, so if you do have any questions for either her, and the architect, excuse me. So if you have any questions for them, feel free. If you would like to.
On the GC.
GC, sorry, excuse me, architect, the GC. Should have asked that in the beginning. If you guys want to come on up, unless you don't want to.
Go ahead.
Come on. Might as well all come up here.
Might as well get the full experience.
It's okay.
Just, is it strictly drive-through?
Yes. I did one indoor, but there's not enough parking.
Has Harlan looked at this? Is there any issues with drainage or? potential-
So Harlan has received the site plan. He hasn't gotten any feedback yet. I did ask about curb and gutter requirements. I will mention as presented, there is a curb on this side. Harlan did say curb and gutter is sort of as needed. He thought this was correct to add curb on this side. It forces the water to channel and head north. Granted, it's the break line. This is a very flat, it's Kansas, so Kansas is very flat. A lot of these lots are very flat. Most of them have already been graded when it was platted. But this curb will catch any additional water runoff from this impervious surface and push it north. It is less than 1 acre of impervious surface, so we're not going to require retention pond or anything of that nature. It's less than half of an acre in terms of the total lot size. The impervious surface doesn't even really constitute a quarter of an acre at this point. So
Did we have a landscaping plan?
yeah, it's right here.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, it's got all the tree vegetations.
As you're probably aware, that lot's already not much there, except I think there is one existing tree.
Yeah, there's two,
Two existing
one or
trees.
two on the, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're keeping them from what I understand. right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so then they're gonna add some additional vegetation.
It's gonna have the wood on the front of the building?
Yes, sir.
What about the sides?
It'll be cedar on the front and then basically it'll wrap around just behind the windows. There's a walk-up window it'd be on the west side, and then there will be a drive-up window on the east side, and it'll go back, I think it's 2 feet. That's it.
What's that, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so the wood will come back on the sides behind the windows.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Then the remainder of that is EFS, is that?
Correct. And then the top where the sign is will be EFS, and then your two canopies are, I believe they're black and steel. So they'll be steel anchored into the building, and then, so ultimately at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say, she's pretty picky, so. It's, I promise it'll look nice when it's all finished. So, we've been working on this she's been working on this for going on 2 years. And we purchased the land and started kind of getting things moving forward. So didn't want to put the cart in front of the horse, and here we are. So, and you know, one day maybe we can expand a little bit and then have the seating. So just
Is there a minimum size I mean, as far as lot size I know you said you would prefer to have
Indoor.
indoor.
Mhm. I don't know what the calculation is as far as that, but I think when I met with my architect, I didn't have enough.
I think it's more about, not even so much the park, well granted, I'll let the GC speak on it, but it's not even so much about the parking, it's about if you're gonna have a queue, how are the cars gonna make that turning radius? And so, it is, like I said, it's 4/10 of 1 acre, it's not a big lot. So they have to accommodate parking on that lot. Parking is a requirement no matter what, if it's in a commercial district, you have to have off-street parking. So meeting that parking lot requirement and having a queue for that drive around, I think really impedes the square footprint, just generally speaking. In terms of future expansion though, I mean, they potentially, this lot over here, believe it or not, so this lot is basically where they are, and you can see it here on the purple line. So Subway actually has a lot of additional space that's unused over here. Maybe that's a conversation down the road. But this is a bunch of unused space at Subway. This Subway's lot is actually a lot larger than it looks like. This appears, since this is built out, that this is one lot. It's not quite the case. This is actually a lot. They only have 114 feet on the width over here, where they have 162 over here and 207 over here. So this is all Subway's lot right over here on this side. So maybe in the future they could punch into here, but that's a conversation for another day.
It's not today. We got to get started in one spot.
That's right.
The key is start small and then grow up.
Yeah.
So,
So is this your concept, or is this a franchise? Or?
My concept.
Yeah, very good.
she actually grew up in Washington State, where coffee is a big thing, and she's been wanting to do this for many years. And
I originally grew up here.
and
My mom worked for Boeing. We got transferred in '86.
we had the opportunity to purchase that land, and her and I sat down and visited about it. And so I said, "You go to work on it, and we'll figure it out." So again, here we are.
Thank you.
No signs out front, other than on the front of the building?
Just on the front of the building.
franchise. Not yet.
And the one thing I will say, and this is kind of, this has nothing to do with this, but, you know, the local people can tell her, you know, what you want, right? The franchise, you can't do that. You're stuck with what they offer. So,
Any other questions?
I don't have any.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
thank you guys.
So financially non-legally approved as a form. It is recommended that planning commission approve the site plan for the Rusty Bean Coffee Shop.
I make a motion, we approve the site plan for the Rusty Bean Coffee Shop.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Motion approved.
Thank you very much. You guys are welcome to stay for the rest of the night, or if not, have a good
I'm
one.
kind of interested how these things run, so.
You're welcome to
If
stay.
you don't mind me staying a few minutes,
You're welcome to stay as long as you like.
and I want to
Tell you
say
about
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff reports, this is item I1, so this is just a quick economic report, just to kind of review some of the changes that have been happening around Goddard and in Goddard, but strictly speaking, since about 1994, Wichita has annexed about 1,000 acres per year. That's the average. It's about 400 acres per year on the median. So you can say in the 1990s, Wichita annexed large swaths of land that really grew at a fast rate. Goddard wasn't really annexing much of all, and then by 2001 we started annexing more. Same as Derby. And the reason I'm specifically mentioning Wichita and Derby is because they have their own fire departments, and so the fire department actually reached out to me when we were talking because of the fact that we were talking about that easement on the south side for the Camp Bow Wow. And then the captain said that he was happy with the growth of the city of Goddard, and I said, well, why? And he said, well, because Wichita, when they annex land in Sedgwick County, it reduces the fund for the Sedgwick County Fire Department, which makes sense. And then Derby, likewise, as Derby grows and Wichita grows, the Sedgwick County Fire Department shrinks, and we require them for their services. So it's just something to think about. But this has since tapered off, and granted, even though these are large amounts in the 1990s, it's sort of stabilized and just kind of in a continual growth period. And you can see there's been a slump in very key areas. Obviously, 2007, 2008, there was a drop. And then once again, 2020, there was a drop. Derby has stayed relatively consistent as well, and we've been intermittent with our annexing. Most of our development has been infill development, which is actually a good thing. But focusing on annexation into the future will be key, and that's something that we're going to be doing as city staff. So, as you can see here, our population has grown again, so we're at 5,200 now. Our 2020 census was 5,084. So obviously the census, it captures a static moment in time, and then but it doesn't take into account everything that's being built during that time period, and then people start infilling. So projections are we're at 5,200. Median household income 85,000. Median home values around 214,000. Our projected population has never been a downward slope; it's always been an upward slope, which is good. Population by percentage by generation is pretty typical right now for Goddard. This hasn't actually changed that much. Greatest generation is passing away. Baby boomers are entering retirement. First baby boomer was able to retire in 2011. Last baby boomer theoretically would be able to retire by 2029. So that means in 7 years, baby boomers will be leaving the labor market in theory. Millennials are around 27%. That's me, I'm a millennial. Alpha generation, which that should have been a quiz, is what comes after Gen Z. Surprise, an A, alpha generation. So anybody born after 2017 to present is considered alpha generation. So something to think about. So households by income, this is actually good in comparison. So this is a comparison to Sedgwick County, these percentages, differences. So basically a household income of 15,000 or less is our smallest cohort. So we're at 2.4%. So very small percentage of Goddardites. I don't know what you would want to call them, Goddardites? Anyway, people who live in Goddard, only about 2.4% of them are less than 15,000. So that's a 6.2% difference between Sedgwick County, who actually have around 8.6% of their percentage of 15,000 or less. Our largest group is 100,000, 149,000, 150,000. So you can see the households by income have been steadily going up. And that's partly because we have a larger percentage of white collar. We have a blue collar at 24%, white collar at 61%, services around 14%. The largest age profile, according to the pyramid, is women between the ages of 29 and 37. So that's really not that surprising considering most people move to Goddard from the school district. So you have women who have children of school age. They are moving to this area, and obviously if there's enough jobs available for their husbands, then they're going to move to Goddard or any other comparable school district that's of quality. And so that's kind of what we're seeing. And once again, this is kind of what I just outlined. Middleburg is the largest percentage. So Middleburg is a classification, a social economic classification. That's kind of like when you bundle people together in different groups. Middleburg is one of them. Their median age is around 37. Most of them have a college degree. The majority of them are white. Income is around $69,000. And most of them comprise are married couples. And they live in single family houses. So that's not really that shocking when we look at the composition of Goddard and the surrounding area. This is the largest social economic group that's in this area. So with that being said, we'll move on to planning commissioner comments. Questions and thoughts?
How many people are employed by the city of Goddard?
30.
Rough. Okay.
30, yeah, we have 30 employees.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, we don't have our own fire department or
It's county.
yeah, it's all county. EMS is county, fire department's county, school district is separate. So we have 30 employees,
Okay.
including the police department, myself, public works, and any other city staff. We contract a lot of services, so our engineers are contracted. Any other bids for construction work and things that exceed public works, like repaving of roads and things of that nature, we bid those out. We do a lot of contract services for IT and things of that nature, but mostly it's contract services, which is not uncommon for a city of our size.
Has that stayed pretty consistent, like over the last 10 years, 30?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's an
Okay.
HR question, which it's difficult for me
I'm
to
just
say.
curious, yeah.
I'm sure that we've kind of gained momentum. What we see, the police department obviously grows, I think, first predominantly as they start hiring more and more, and then public works and then any other essential staff would be on the first, and then we would add any additional staff as needed. That's what we've seen, but I couldn't tell you what the actual, like, if we had 2 people on average per year, I couldn't tell you
curious,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is our staffing in the police department now?
That's an HR question. After this one.
You
This
know
one,
that one.
Stumped them.
30.
We got him.
I'm not sure. Any guesses on how many people are under? What?
Under.
Under
30.
sub 30.
Thanks, Andrew.
Less than 30, more than 0.
Yeah.
That means understaffed, what that means.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's like 30 to 35, I guess.
That could be the
35
future in politics.
Whatever become of our last meeting, about the land over there,
Which one?
the one north of Maple?
Oh, yeah. So
Go to
that
city
one
council.
went before city council. It required a supermajority. Obviously, in a 3-to-3 split, since we're missing a planning commissioner, typically there'd be a split of around 3-to-4, right? And then the 4s would win, and that would be the majority, and then that would either pass or fail. But with a split, it's a failure to make an official motion, which counts as a no vote. In a no vote, it forces a supermajority of city council, but city council voted all 4 in favor. There was one city council member who was out, but all 4 voted in favor to veto, except that between planning commission and city council, the developer went back to the land seller and they had a discussion, which was private information. I can't say it because I wasn't there, but it was a private. They had a conversation. They decided to reduce the amount of land that was being purchased, so they reduced it from 150 acres to about 77 acres. So they bought basically the west parcel, if that's in reference, the one closer to all the utilities because it would be easier to develop. So they purchased the west parcel. They left the east parcel, and that one was proposed, so they withdrew that portion, the east one, from their request for being rezoned, and so the request is only for that 77 acres, and so that one got rezoned to R2. They did buffer the north side to take into account some of the comments of Planning Commission and from the citizens of the county, so they buffered the north side by saying that they would delineate that for single-family detached. And we can hold it to it because when they plat it and they start submitting building permits, we will say this side can only be single-family detached building permits because per the recommendation and everything else. But City Council did approve it without any conditions, no restrictive covenants or anything of that nature. So it's been rezoned R2 at this point.
Nothing else?
This side? Crickets.
No, it's exciting to see the new businesses coming in. Appreciate the investment in the city, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long that lot's sat empty, and I can't say how much they bought it for either, I'm not sure, so. It was owned by Prairie State Bank, but I'm not sure. And like I said, I'm not really sure why it's that empty. It's a pretty nice lot considering it's abutting the frontage road and 54, there's nothing blocking the view. I'm not really sure why it languished, but I'm glad to see that they're putting it to good use, and it's 8,000 plus square feet, so it's not gonna be, a small lot for that one, but.
Nice spot for it.
Right, right. If anyone complains about dogs, I mean, we have a fire department right there, so I mean,
Yeah.
fire engines are usually a lot louder than dogs, but I'm sure we'll see how they interact with one another, so.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It talked.
Wow. Man, he's got it trained.
He threw his voice.
Trying to shut it off.
Any other comments? I don't have any.
So this will be item K, adjournment, next regular planning commission meeting will be August 8th, 2022.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Look at that, 35 minutes.
Very good. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy?